Of their excellencies, the ambassadors take the oath at Al Baraka Palace. His Majesty the Sultan condoles His Majesty King of the Kingdom of Bahrain on the death of Her Highness Sheikh Noura bint Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa. The main committee for electing members of the Shura Council for the 10th term confirms that the electoral went smoothly and witnessed good turnout from citizens. And the project of rehabilitating the southern runway and taxiways at Muscat International Airport is completed. Good evening once again, and thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. Before His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, a number of their excellencies, the ambassadors, took the oath at Al Baraka Palace this morning. The oath was taken by His Excellency Khalid bin Salim Bakhlaf, Ambassador of the Sultanate of Oman to the Kingdom of Morocco. His Excellency Ahmed bin Mohammed Al Arimi, Ambassador of the Sultanate of Oman to the Republic of France. Her Excellency Sayyida Wafa bint Jabr Al Busaidi, Ambassador of the Sultanate of Oman to the Republic of Uzbekistan. His Excellency Malallah bin Mahmoud Al Balushi, Ambassador of the Sultanate of Oman to Hungary. His Excellency Sheikh Fahad bin Abdul Rahman Al Ajaili, Ambassador of the Sultanate of Oman to the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. His Excellency Fahad bin Sulaiman Al Kharusi, Ambassador of the Sultanate of Oman to the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. Her Excellency Nasra bint Salim Al Hashimi, Ambassador of the Sultanate of Oman to the Republic of Kenya. His Excellency Saif bin Rashid Al Jahuri, Ambassador of the Sultanate of Oman to the Republic of Turkey. And His Excellency Sayyid Ammar bin Abdullah Al Busaidi, Ambassador of the Sultanate of Oman to the State of Qatar. Ahmed. The oath-taking ceremony was attended by His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Hamad Al Busaidi, Foreign Minister. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq has sent a cabal of condolences to His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, King of the Kingdom of Bahrain, on the death of Her Highness Sheikh Noura bin Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa. The Sultanate of Oman hosted the 9th meeting of the Ministerial Committee on Combating Corruption in the Gulf Cooperation Council countries. The most prominent topics discussed in the meeting are the Strategic Guide for Coordination and Cooperation, the Joint Gulf Program for Awareness and Education in the field of education, and Joint Guides in the field of integrity. The meeting was held under the auspices of His Excellency Sheikh Ghusn bin Hilal Al Alawi, Chairman of the State Audit Institution. Under the theme Better City, Better Life, the Urban October and the first Gulf Housing Week conference continued its second day of its activities at the Oman Convention and Exhibition Center. The importance of building better cities and enhancing the quality of life as a permanent slogan based on the sustainability of cities is a goal pursued by the October Urbanism and the first Gulf Housing Week conference, which began its work at the Oman Convention and Exhibition Center under the slogan Better City, Better Life, and hosts more than 60 speakers from inside and outside the Sultanate of Oman.
This conference came to, it's part of the planning of Minister of Planning, Housing and Urban Planning. It's part of the planning for Minister of Housing and Urban Planning for the awarenesses regarding the urban planning plans and projects, and also for more engagement with the public to showcase the projects that Minister of Housing and Urban Planning are holding, and also to get opinions and participation from the community themselves, into that project. This year also we had a lot of synergy with the GCC countries and other stakeholders, which is actually making our conference goes more larger, and that's adding a lot of values for the plan of making the awarenesses of the urban planning in Sultanate of Oman.
It's a massive undertaking. You see the exhibitors are here in large numbers. Obviously, Madinat Sultan Haytham is a very impressive undertaking. It's a massive development. It will reconfigure the way the urban development is in Muscat. As for us in Sarouj, we are an infrastructure company. There's a lot of major infrastructure that's going to be built in Madinat Sultan Haytham and further urban development inside Muscat. As well, we take on challenging engineering and construction projects, such as building houses using new technologies, using renewable energies. So we're very excited to be involved in this urban development and obviously Madinat Sultan Haytham development.
The conference addresses four main themes: housing, urban planning, the future of school buildings, and city resilience, by focusing on the topics improving cities, urban and real estate life to develop the housing and real estate sector, enhancing the sustainable urban economy, rehabilitating the sustainable educational environment, and enabling environmental balance.
It is extremely important for us to participate in such events. As part of the GCC housing ministers meetings, and as part of UN Habitat Urban October, and as part of our own requirements to exchange experiences between the Gulf countries. So it was our pleasure to come to Oman for such an event.
The conference will also accompanied by October Urban Exhibition, which includes more than 35 corners with local and Gulf participation to showcase products, innovations and services in the housing and urban planning sector, in addition to holding the first edition of the Gulf Urban Hackathon in the field of urban planning, targeting teams and individuals to find innovative solutions, urban challenges in areas of the Sultanate of Oman. Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat. Omani voters casted yesterday their votes to choose who will represent them in the membership of the Shura Council for the 10th term through the Antakhib application. 738 candidates, including 32 women, competed to choose 90 members, and the voting process closed at 7 p.m. yesterday.
From a manual process where a candidate will have to travel for long distances via a voting centre to cast his vote, into a 1 minute or less action using Antakhib application. This is how advanced the process has become for the 10th term Shura Council elections that happened yesterday, Sunday, the 29th of October 2023, where Omani voters from all governorates of the Sultanate of Oman casted their votes via the Antakhib application to choose their representative who will make it to the membership of a Shura Council in its 10th term. The voting started at 8 a.m. until 7 p.m. yesterday. The Ministry of Interior has confirmed earlier that the Antakhib application is fully technically prepared to receive the votes of 753,260 voters, including 362,611 female voters. The voters choose 90 members for the Shura Council in its 10th term. These 90 members were selected from among 738 candidates, including 31 female candidates. The Ministry of Interior explained earlier as well that the Antakhib application in its second version had new improvements and updates, such as the audio reading feature for people with hearing disabilities who are blind, and also sign language, which will be optionally available for people with disabilities who are deaf and dumb during voting processes. It's noteworthy to mention that voters easily casted their votes through the allowed time frame in a few simple steps, which included activating the NFC feature. The voter also took a photo of the ID card from both sides and then placed the original ID card close to the phone to read the data. Then the voter was asked for a personal photo of himself, after which a list of photos of candidate appeared for him to select from. Finally, the vote confirmation button appears for the vote to be casted. The ministry has also made it possible through the Intikhab application to follow on the indicators and statistics of the process throughout yesterday.
Sheikh Al-Mukhtar bin Abdullah Al-Harthi, Deputy Chairman of the Supreme Court, Chairman of the Main Committee for electing members of the Shura Council for the 10th term, confirmed that the submission of appeals begins today for a period of 10 days via the electronic system, and the committee considers them within 15 days from the date of the appeal and has the decision to decide on them. For his part, His Excellency Mohammed bin Saeed Al-Balushi, and the Secretary of the Ministry of Information, Chairman of the Media Committee, pointed out that there are great efforts made by the media in conveying the progress of the electoral process and introducing the Antakhib application. Meanwhile, His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Amr al-Shidani, and the Secretary of the Ministry of Transport, Communications and Information Technology for Communications and Information Technology, confirmed that some technical cases related to the use of the Antakhib application were monitored and were overcome. While Talal bin Ahmed Al-Saadi, Secretary of the Main Committee for electing members of the Shura Council for the 10th term, explained that the goal of using technology is to give the largest number of voters the opportunity to vote, which exceeded 65%. Digital Pal is a milestone in the history of the Sultanate of Oman. At the press center, I met with His Excellency, the Undersecretary of the Ministry of Transport, Communications and Information Technology for Communications and Information Technology, and some of the international journalists as well as Omani citizens, and they have these to say about the electronic app Antakhib.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, the entire election process was fully automated and the operations were smooth, walillah alhamd, and it yielded the results that we were aiming for, alhamdulillah. There were no significant challenges. All challenges were manageable. We had a call center that was operating 24/7, and we managed to resolve issues instantly. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.
It's amazing. In the United States, they are constantly looking for ways to make things more efficient, easier for the voter, but also easier to tabulate on the other end. And this appears to check all those boxes. This is far ahead of anything that is happening right now in my neck of the woods. So it's really impressive, and I think it's something that around the world they need to be looking at.
This election reflects the excellent vision of 2040, which aim to make progress, welfare, and development for all Omani citizens, and also because it is fully digitalized, is a very good example for the rest of Arab countries to follow.
I'm from Japan, from the Tokyo newspaper, and this is my first time to see the electoral voting. This is really outstanding. Why? I can say the 3 points. The first is saving the money, saving the time, and good for the people. You know, that it's easy to casting for the people. That's why, you know, it helps more high rate of the voting, and it reflects more people's opinion in the election. And someday in the future, that we Japan also apply this kind of the system.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First of all, I would like to commend ourselves and the country altogether for the achievements that they have achieved in terms of applying the IT in the elections. It takes around less than 5 minutes to do the elections compared to the hours that we used to spend in the past. And secondly, I would like to say that what we expect from the council members this time, the time is very crucial and the expectation is very high. And we would like to have the candidates who are really capable of transforming the vision of the country into the people and align the interest of the country with the interest of the people, so that people know that we're all together going toward the same goal.
Now, regarding the process of electing members of the Shura Council for the 10th term, we welcome to the studio journalist Tim Constantine from Washington Times. Thank you for being here and for being with us here to talk more about what we have observed actually during your presence here with other international journalists. What would you like to tell us in general about the election process?
I think there were 2 or 3 things that really got my attention right off the bat. One is people often complain that there are too many people in government, or too many hands doing things. And with the way the process is being done now, the ability to scale back the number of volunteers, the number of employees, the participation of workers is so much less. I think that's a great benefit. It says how efficient the process is. But I think the part that got my attention the most really was the enthusiasm among the public or among government officials. Both were very excited about the process, and that isn't always the case. So I liked seeing that a lot.
Okay. Now, this e-voting system is for the first time that has been applied here in the Sultanate of Oman. Of course, it was applied for the municipal members, but this time actually is more advanced. Do you see the opportunity of being utilized, this kind of system, in other countries?
I do, and I'll use the United States as an example. In the United States, there are 50 states. And so during federal elections, you have 50 different systems. It is not one uniform system, but there's a lot of talk now of trying to make a uniform system. And I looked at this system and thought, well, I realized this is 753,000 enrolled voters. And in the United States, last presidential election, they had 160 million voters.
Yes.
You would need to work on scaling it up, but the process, the participation rate, the simplicity, the ease with which it's done, all of those lend themselves, certainly to the United States, I would think all over the world. I think this is a leading technology.
Now, we have come actually to the end of this interview. However, how do you see that this particular system being used in other countries? You have already pointed out there, but is there an opportunity of benefiting from the experiences that we have here in the Sultanate of Oman?
I think the big benefit, I looked at the numbers for the 9th Shura Council election, and it was, I think, a 49% participation rate. And then that's a big jump this time. The ability to do it in such a simple fashion and have more people participate, I think is always the goal of any government entity, is to try to get as many people in as possible. And I think this encourages a younger voter too, which sometimes is the lower turnout, is the youth. And so getting those 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds to participate is probably easier on the phone than it is elsewhere.
Indeed. People would say probably those old guys, they might have some difficulties, but I'm sure that many of them have got their own, people who can assist them in that. And we've heard His Excellency, the Undersecretary of Minister of Communication, saying that there was no problem that they have noticed with this. So we've been very successful. Well, Tim, thank you very much for being with us here. Of course, Tim is from Washington Times.
Correct.
So thank you for being here in the Sultanate.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Civil Aviation Authority announced that the project of rehabilitating the southern runway and taxiways was completed. The project will contribute in strengthening air traffic in the regional and international levels, as well as increasing exit and entry corridors. Civil Aviation Authority said the southern runway was stopped for operations for rehabilitation works that included renovation and lengthening of the runway by 500 meters. 9 exit and entry lanes were added for aircraft, including 4 fast lanes, in order to enhance the capabilities of Muscat International Airport, which will allow receiving larger aircraft. The Municipal Council in the Governorate of Dhofar held its 8th meeting this year. The Council discussed activating social services for people with disabilities, along with a number of environmental and developmental topics. The meeting reviewed the national efforts exerted to deal with the recent weather condition, Tej, which affected the Dhofar Governorate parts of Yemen. The meeting also praised the immediate response from all sectors to deal with Cyclone Tej, as well as the quick restoration of services in all the wilayas of the Dhofar Governorate. The meeting was presided over by His Highness Sayyid Marwan bin Turki Al Said, Governor of Dhofar. With the aim to elevate the role of Omani women, the activities of the Women's Entrepreneurship Forum in the digital media world are organized in the Sultanate in the Sultan Qaboos Youth Cultural and Entertainment Center in the Wilaya of Salalah. The forum also aimed to enhance the women's local and international participation and empower them in various development sectors in the Sultanate of Oman. It also sought to provide Omani women with diverse practical experiences and skills through specialized training programs. The forum featured 2 panel discussions. The first, titled Building Identity and Empowering Women in the Digital Transformation on Era, addressed the importance of women's roles in the digital realm. The second session discussed artificial intelligence in the economy and investment. The opening ceremony of the forum was presided over by His Highness Sayyid Marwan bin Turki Al Said, the Governor of Dhofar. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and yet to come in our news bulletin, beach huts and canopies competition organized at South Sharqiya Governorate. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. His Highness Sayyid Yazan bin Haytham Al Said, Minister of Culture, Sports and Youth, presided over the Omani Youth Day ceremony organized by the Minister of Culture, Sports and Youth, which included announcing the winners of the Excellence Award. More details coming up. in this report.
تعلمنا نختار الصح لأن الصح ما يختلف.
Within the endeavors of the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Youth to attend to youth potential and applaud their various local and international achievements. The winners of the Excellence Award were honored on the occasion of the Omani Youth Day.
Every youth is proud of having this day, which is specially dedicated to them. We're also proud of having the Youth Center as a platform that supports and empowers the youth to achieve their aspirations.
This year, the Excellence Award targeted 5 categories: individuals, youth initiatives, youth institutions, civil society organizations, and private sector companies that allocate part of their social investment to supporting youth and their activities.
We are so proud today because we have been chosen to award this certificate or award this prize. This gives us the motivation and the motion to make Oman more better and work hard to develop this initiative and in future ways.
We're very humbled, we're very privileged, and we feel this is like one of the best endorsements we can receive, considering we just completed or in the process of completing our 2nd edition. So to know that the 1st edition was recognized and successful, and alhamdulillah, as of end of this year, we will be impacting 100 young Omani women, amongst them fresh graduates, job seekers, and young professionals. And we hope that we can expand this program. And I believe with this endorsement from the ministry, we will definitely attract more sponsors across the country to support us in expanding it.
The event witnessed the signing of agreements with a number of companies and institutions, including establishing the Cultural and Youth Center project in the Wilaya of Sur in South Al-Sharqiyya Governorate. The accompanying exhibition of the event showcased youth talents, experiences, initiatives, current achievements, and future aspirations. Marking Omani Youth Day reflects the significant roles of the youth in building and promoting the nation. For the Sultanate of Oman Television, Salih Bakhalfan Al-Rahbi, Muscat.
Is the first experience in the Middle East and North African region. The Sultanate of Oman hosted the International Solid Waste Management Association 2023 World Congress. The circular economy and sustainable resources management is the most prominent focus of the conference, which highlights global work towards a future without emission by providing a unique platform for sharing knowledge, best practices, and experiences in this field. The conference, organized by the Omani Environmental Services Holding Company, BIA, aims to facilitate the transition towards a more efficient future in the use of resources and sustainability. The 9th National Cybersecurity Drill, organized by the Ministry of Transport, Communications and Information Technology, kicked off with the participation of a large cross-section of government departments and infrastructure establishments. The event kicked off under the slogan of consolidating the efficiency of defense teams through security assessment of electronic systems. The drill seeks to enhance the preparedness of establishments to deal with electronic risks and threats. It highlights the best ways to handle security incidents. It also focuses on coordination and cooperation between the National Computer Emergency Readiness Team, CERT, and government departments. The Minister of Housing and Urban Planning in South Al-Sharqiyya Governorate organized beach huts and canopies competition. The winning designs, inspired by the government Governorate Nature event, was presided by His Excellency Dr. Yahya bin Badr Al-Mawli, Governor of South Al-Sharqiyya. More details coming up in this report.
South Al-Sharqiyya Governorate is characterized by a coastal strip that attracts many tourists throughout the year, especially in the summer, which is characterized by moderate temperatures. As a result, a challenge of designing innovative beach huts and canopies that will enhance the coastal experience at various locations within the Governorate was announced around 2 months ago, and today winning teams are announced.
we are celebrating today about the Herbal of October, the end of that celebration. Also, we have that competition of hut design. So it's started from the 3rd of September. It has 7 criteria. It's started from the innovation up to the privacy. Also, we have that something is called accessibility also. So this celebration is coming to announce the winners. We have 3 winners today.
More than 300 participants contested in this competition, and only 3 winners were announced. The competition, which is a collaborative effort between South Al-Sharqiyya Governorate and the General Directorate of Housing and Urban Planning, seeks to tap into the creative potential of local talent.
Really appreciate this competition, and really I'm happy to be with them. And when they announced the first winner for that, really I appreciate myself and my student. And inshallah next time we'll participate in other competition.
I'm glad to be part of Hut and Shade competition, which hold place in South Al-Sharqiyya government. The competition was quite hard but well organized by the government.
The participations varied with outstanding and urban designs that go with the nature of South Al-Sharqiyya Governorate beaches and will have a great impact on the tourism sector. Sultan bin Saif Sra'i from South Al-Sharqiyya Governorate.
Sultan Sarai from Sharqiyya, thank you very much. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. Before His Majesty Sultan Haytham, a number of their excellencies, the ambassadors, take the oath at Al Barakah Palace. His Majesty the Sultan condoles His Majesty King of the Kingdom of Bahrain on the death of Her Highness Sheikha Noura bint Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa. The main committee for electing members of the Shura Council for the 10th term confirms that the electoral went smoothly and witnessed a good turnout from citizens. And the project of rehabilitating the southern runway and taxiways at Muscat International Airport is completed. And with that, we do conclude this news bulletin brought to you live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman television. This news is being directed by Salim Al-Ma'wali, and from me, Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubi'a, and the entire news team. We thank you for joining us, wish you a pleasant evening, and of course, good night.